Well, despite the cold temperatures this time of year, there is some bird watching to be done. Sarah Schott with the Ohio Division of Wildlife is here this afternoon to go over what things we can see in the sky during the winter months. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I look outside and I go, why are they here? Shouldn't they go south? But there are some that actually do come south. But for us, it's warm.
Yes,
or for them, it's warm.
Yeah, this is where they're spending the winter because it's warmer for them.
Yeah.
One of those great examples is this guy right here, our dark-eyed junco. So they are strictly a winter visitor for us here in Ohio. Normally, they're up into Canada. They're coming down here because this is warm for them. And then when it starts to warm back up, they're going to go back into Canada where they're breeding.
So now's the time to get a look at them, though, before they fly back north.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't have too much longer left.
Yeah, we have some other beautiful birds here, too, and that we... what should we look for when we're spotting these guys?
Yeah, another great one to see this time of year is this one down here, a snow bunting, another Arctic bird that's spending their winter down here in the warmer temperatures. This is one to look for on country roads. So if you're ever, in the country roads, there's not a lot of traffic, and especially if you're around like some bare soil or some harvested cornfields, these guys will be in small flocks of like 10 or 15, and they'll often be right along the road, and they're trying to find like some seeds or things to eat, and then when you drive by, they kind of all scurry off in a big flutter, and then they land down, and they're just fun to watch.
Yes.
They're just cute little guys.
They're looking for something to snack on.
Yes.
Yes, and some other really little ones, too.
Yeah, of course. Some of these guys we can see just in our backyards that are bird feeders. Chickadees and nuthatches are ones that we're pretty familiar with. Also, some different woodpecker species. This is a downy woodpecker, one of our smaller little friends that we have. And then we also have a brown creeper, which is a little bit more rare to see, but you might get lucky. And these guys creep up the tree, whereas nuthatches go down the tree.
Funny. And you have that displayed here beautifully for us. One going down and one going up.
Yeah.
What about birds of prey? Do we see them this time of year as well?
Yes, a great time to see some of our birds of prey. We have some winter visitors like a short-eared owl, northern harriers. Great time to see them right now. But right now, one of my favorite species to look out for is our bald eagle. Everybody knows, so majestic, great to see. But right now, they are getting ready to lay eggs. So within the first eggs might be laid here in the next couple weeks. Mid-February into March is when we start seeing eagles lay their eggs, and then 35 days after that we'll see our first eagle chicks. So right now those males and those females, they're bonding, they're getting their nests ready, they're ready for those young to come, and then before we know it, it'll be springtime, and we'll get to see some young eagles out there.
We'll get to see them spread their wings, right? So this was something interesting that I didn't realize. Male and female eagles, they mate for life, huh?
Yes, they do. So once they form a pair, they are mated for life. Now if something happens to one of those eagles, if they get struck by a car or something happens, they're in nature, they will seek out a new mate. So if the male dies, the female will go find a new male to mate with. But in general, they do mate for life, several years. They'll raise chicks together, and they will return to the same nest. So if you notice an eagle nest in your area, you can watch out for it, and it's always going to be those same eagles coming back to that nest and just making repairs on it, just like we would our homes, and then having their young there again.
How wonderful would that be to have something like that very close to you that you could check in on? As you said, very majestic and just beautiful. So where can we better see these birds, or any of these winter birds? And should we get some binoculars? What kind of equipment should we have?
Yeah, so you can go as small or big as you want. So some of these guys you can see just in your backyard. Eagles, you can target any sources of water. So obviously Lake Erie, great place to start. The shores of Lake Erie, the Sandusky River, the Maumee River have a lot of eagle nests around them. So visiting our state parks, our wildlife areas, your local parks, metro parks, and things like that are great places to go. Binoculars are great if you have the option, and practicing with those and getting used to those is really helpful to understanding our birds. And then a field guide, just starting small if you're just beginning, just a simple field guide. The Division of Wildlife has our own field guides on our website that you can download or you can get from us for free, just to get you started in understanding some of those birds. And then there's a lot of great apps out there on your phone too. One of my favorite is Merlin, and it will actually identify bird calls for you. So you just push play and it'll tell you what you're hearing, show pictures of them so you can look and see and compare to what you're looking at. So there's lots of great resources out there to get you started.
Yeah, technology, when it's used useful. We love that. Very good. So if people want to get some more information, maybe they want to learn about conservation and things like that, where can they go?
Yeah, there's lots of resources out there. The Division of Wildlife puts out a magazine called Wild Ohio 6 times a year, and we always highlight birds and different things going on with birds in our state. We're really focused on conserving a lot of those species because since 1970 we've lost about 3 billion birds in the United States. So it's a lot. That's a huge number, and it's habitat loss. Pets that are staying outside, pesticide use, all these different things. And so we're just really working towards teaching people more about them, getting them to think conservation minded. Maybe this spring when it finally warms up, planting some plants that are going to be helpful to our birds, our native plants that are providing some seeds to them so that they can, reproduce and grow our populations.
We can all do our part. There's some really great information today. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.